Hello horror movie lovers, I just got done watching the latest horror movie Barbarian, and with Barbarian we follow two strangers who seem to have double booked themselves at an Airbnb only to find out some mysteries hidden in the basement of this rental. That's all pretty much say without giving any spoilers, you guys. This will be a spoiler-free review, but I'm gonna just say it right off the top. Probably don't watch the rest of this review. It's a good horror movie. Heck, it's been a great year for horror movies, it seems like. And Barbarian to me is another knockout that I think a lot of people are enjoying, but it might be better if you go in knowing absolutely nothing about this movie. This video still remains spoiler free, and I'm not going to give away any major details, but if you're interested in this film and you were going to check out this review to see if it was worth your time, it's worth it. So go enjoy that madness, but getting into some general specifics on what I really liked about this movie is, for one, I just love how the premise is set up and laid out. The trailer of the film is essentially like the first 5 minutes of the movie. You have a woman showing up to their Airbnb, finding out there's a stranger living in it, going, hey, I already booked this place, what's going on here? He invites her in, and then things start happening. Really want to give major props to the director on this one, Zach Kreger, because he found a way to build a lot of suspense and tension throughout this movie, because I think that's why you'll see a lot of reviews saying go in blank, go in not knowing anything about this movie, and that's because it really toys with you. It keeps you guessing what's going on here, what's the big mystery about this basement. And that's kind of the fun of the movie, is you've seen some of the clues, the hints, and then it being unraveled very slowly to you, but it is not a slow burn type of movie. I am invested 100% all throughout this film, completely glued on the screen and also terrified on the edge of my seat going, what's about to pop out and scare me? The story is also laid out in a way you wouldn't expect that, again, I think just works better for laying out this mystery. You also have a great small stellar cast in here. Georgina Campbell, who plays our main lead, easily someone you root for and just desperately want to see them make it out of this situation. Bill Skarsgård, also great. The man played Pennywise, so he can essentially do anything. And someone I'm just kind of happy to see thrown in this movie because I think they're an underrated actor, Justin Long. It'll be up to you whether you like his character through the course of the movie. But yeah, anytime you can throw Justin Long in there, I think it's just a bonus for your horror movie. And I guess depending on where you land on horror movies, the next thing might not be such a big positive, but I really like some of the more uncomfortable, unsettling moments in this film. There are going to be things that happen in this movie that kind of make you turn away from the screen, make you feel icky inside, and I mean, when a movie can pull that off for you, I think that's great. But I know there's probably some squeamish people out there, and my press screening of this movie was held at one of those movie dine-in theaters where you order food and watch a movie. So glad I finished my mozzarella sticks before those scenes happen. Also, something else I thought this movie handled really well, that I want to choose my words carefully because I don't want to make this be something that deters other people out there. This movie did a great job of having some underlying themes about men and women relationships. Through the different characters that we'll meet in this movie and their backstories, you'll see a common theme here on societal norms, on what it's like to be a man, on what it's like to be a woman, how that's changed over time. And it was just subtle little things I liked that was added that elevated the story for me and made it more than just a creepy, gory kill fest. I just hate that me saying that and saying that the movie tackles those kind of subjects, there'll be some idiots going, oh, so it's political and woke? Talking about men? Why does everything have to be that way now? Shut up, watch the movie, it's good. But that does make me want to jump into some of my negatives, because although I really enjoyed Barbarian and had an outstanding time with it, I'm not sure if it's going to make my top 10 best horror movies of the year list. It's going to be pretty close, but there was things that happened throughout the story that just kind of held it back for me. For one, while I do agree you shouldn't know too much about this movie going into it because you don't want to ruin some of the surprises, at the same time, tame expectations for what you think you'll see down there, because I promise you, it's not as crazy as you think it might be. It's still messed up, eerie, and unsettling for sure, but I think with the movie toying with you so much throughout the film of what's really going on down there and you making your guesses and assumptions, by the time you find out what is actually going on, you might be slightly underwhelmed. At least that was the case for me, seeing all these other reviews mention, go in blank, don't know anything about this movie, it's a crazy wild ride. Yes, it definitely was, but some imaginations might go a little too crazy and you'll ruin it for yourself. There was also this homeless character that was inserted into the movie that I think was really only in there to make it blatantly clear to the audience what the reveal is, what the twist is about. But when you think about it, you're like, how does this homeless man know this much information about what's really going on in that basement. That was where the movie was like starting to lose some of its footing for me. I think there could have been a better way to kind of lay that all out, but I did find it kind of odd that one character had this much information and those things were still happening in that basement. All in all, still a great horror movie. Nitpicks aside, I had a good time. I'd recommend it to people out there. See it with the crowd also, because you're going to want to hear those reactions for people when those unsettling things happen on screen. It truly has been so far a great year for horror. So with Barbarian, I'm going to give action 2.5 stars. Most of the action, chase sequences, and thrills happen towards the very end of the film. Up until then, it's a lot of backstory, build-up, dialogue. That is all intriguing though. None of it to me was losing me or making me bored. I was fully invested trying to figure out what is going on. Comedy in the movie, I'm gonna give it 2 stars. There's not a whole lot of joking going on here. It keeps a serious tone, but a lot of the jokes do come from Justin Long's character, and some of the humor really worked for me, especially one involving him measuring a bunch of rooms. Drama in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I really love the way the story played out and the way the movie was revealing to you why this thing was happening. Also, with being able to throw in the subtle themes of men and women relationships, I thought it was all handled really well. Horror in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. A lot of that will be to the unsettling moments and situations these characters get put in, because if you picture yourself in those shoes, you would be terrified and disgusted. And suspense in the movie, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. The director did a great job of creating suspense all throughout the beginning of this movie, building your tension, trying to figure out what's happening, and even once things get revealed, whether you guessed it or not, you still want to see these characters try to make it out. Casual horror fans, I'm gonna give it an A-. Cinephiles, I'm gonna give it a B+, and critically, I'm going to give it a B+. For Barbarian, I think it's a movie that's definitely worth watching in theaters. Really, I think if you're a horror fan just wanting to start to get in that spooky season, since October's right around the corner, Barbarian will be a great start to that. But I definitely want to hear from you guys if you're someone who's going out to see Barbarian, and if you have seen it, what did you think about it? Leave me your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.